Call him woman.
Ouch.
Alex had last when he finds out about Twilight.
Oh, God.
Appetizers. Yes. On the Haji-Saya relationship from Blood Plus. Yeah, it's funny you mention that because for those of you who don't know, I'm not only a voice actor, I'm also a scholar, and I do a whole bunch of presentations on mythology and mythological storytelling in animation.
Oh, sweet.
And one of my presentations, actually my favorite presentation, is my third one on my anime mythology series. It's called Mystics, Priestesses, and Warrior Women. And it's basically about the female hero journey in animation and storytelling, which no one ever seems to want to talk about. They always want to talk about the male hero journey and Luke Skywalker and all that good stuff. They never talk about the girls. And so I'm like, let's talk about that. And there's an archetype that happens a lot in Japanese animation that almost never happens in American animation. And it's the Saya Haji archetype. And what that is the idea of the magical girl and her devoted protector, like Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask. Exactly. Or Hitomi in The Vision of Escaflowne, and Vaughn, or Kagome and Inuyasha. Like, you'll see this happen over and over and over again, where you have the girl who actually is the one who has the magical power. She's the one who is the special being, but then right behind her is sort of her knight, her defending knight. And he is not more powerful than her. He's actually less powerful than her, but he is the one who is there to defend her and to help her and to assist her. So... The guy with the brain. Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
It's always the chick with the brain.
Vampire Princess Miyu and Larva, right? Does Larva have the brains? No, but damn, Larva can kick some butt, right? She's the one always in charge. And if you've ever watched the original Sailor Moon, this is sort of interesting. Tuxedo Mask, Damien cannot turn into Tuxedo Mask until Usagi has turned into Sailor Moon. So she must become the magical girl first before he can become her protecting knight. Usually, it's in Western storytelling, it's reversed. Like, the girl is secondary to the guy, which is sort of silly. The only time that doesn't happen in a lot of Western storytelling is with King Arthur, where you have Guinevere, who is the queen, and Lancelot is her knight, and sort of helps her and protect her. So that's, I think, what's going on with the whole Saya Haji thing, is we're playing that very old game. Frankly, it's the same thing that happened in Hellsing, right? Integra, even though she doesn't necessarily have any real magic of her own, she's the one in charge, and Alucard serves her. And so that's a common archetype that happens over and over again in Japanese animated storytelling. And the only place I can see it happen a lot in the West is in the King Arthur myths, because those are based in this notion of courtly love, where a knight would have to do great deeds and have a gentle heart in order for a woman of the Middle Ages to grant what they called merci, which would be like her handkerchief or something, which basically meant he was now her champion. And so in that sort of champion, it wasn't just because he was strong, it was also because he had a gentle heart. And so that's where the love would come. So that sort of courtly love thing is the only place where I know that sort of happens in Western storytelling. Unfortunately, when you look at superheroes, you know, Black Canary is sort of secondary to Green Arrow. You know, it's rare when you have couples in Western superheroes or animation stuff that the girl's in charge and the guy is subordinate to her. Silence the room. All right. Yes.
What?
How does it feel having my existence be very important to a lot of people? Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Because why are people interested in me? Because I play these characters, right? And that's the thing with any sort of public person or celebrity. They do something that people like, play a sport really well or something, and then everyone gets very interested in that person. But what's interesting is that you all did not get interested in me because you knew me. right? You got interested in me because of the work that I did, you know, because of my acting stuff. And so it's this interesting thing, you know, people are concerned about my existence, or interested in my existence. Yeah, it's sort of odd, because, you know, most of the attraction is because of my characters or the acting work that I did. If I were an athlete, it would be because, you know, I could slam dunk or something, you know. And then, like, getting to know me as a person is like a completely other thing, you know. Oh, well, thank you, I appreciate that. Oh, thank you. I mean, it's interesting because we've never met. Right? She loves me, but we've never met. Hi. Right. And that's really the sort of the challenge. And when we're in an environment like this, is that you guys know my work, but you may not know me. And so usually when I'm at these kind of things, I want to try to share me, try to share any expertise I might have, if you guys are interested in that, or any stories or anything. But notice that there are some people who don't want to get to know me, they just want me to, like, do the voice of characters, which is fine, no big deal, you know, because it's fun. It's fun to have me do the voice of characters, be the human jukebox. But it's an interesting experience for me being up here, because it's like, okay, you all want to hear me talk, but you don't really know me. Like, and so it's this odd thing where I'm like trying my best to share with you guys and be generous and have a good time together, and yet we're all sort of getting to know each other in sort of this group hug. It's sort of an interesting experience. I'm not quite sure what to compare it to. You, sir, at the front. Yeah. I don't have a favorite mythology, because that's not really how I think about it. I think about mythology as the stories that humans have told themselves over thousands of years to try to find meaning in their life. That's usually where mythologies come from. And so my obsession with mythology is understanding all these different stories so that then I can write my own. You know, so there's different aspects of different mythologies that speak to me, and certainly there's certain mythologies that speak to me more than others. There's a lot of Asian mythologies that speak to me, many times more than a lot of Middle Eastern mythologies. I don't resonate with Middle Eastern mythologies as much, but sometimes I really resonate with Native American mythologies. Who knows? But for me, it's about sort of decoding what humanity has done over millennia and going, oh, everyone's just trying to enjoy life. Like, they're all just trying to find what the most fulfilling experience of life they can. And so then I go, oh, well, great, then you know what, I'm going to make up my own mythology. And I think that's sort of what a lot of people do now, is they sort of, you write your own story. You become the stories you tell yourself. And you tell yourself stories all the time. And sometimes your parents have told you these stories, sometimes society, sometimes religion. All people tell you all sorts of stories. And so then I think it's empowering to say, okay, this part of the story I like, this part of the story I'm going to change, because I want to change my life and I'd like to do something different there. So that I don't say, aha, Norse, yes, I'm Thor and I will go around swinging a hammer because that's my favorite mythology. No, like that's not really how I look at it. I look at, wow, what's this notion of Norse mythology, and how did Tolkien use it in Lord of the Rings when they're in Helm's Deep and all the orcs are closing in and they're going to die, and like this notion of northern courage, like it's very important in Norse mythology. Even though everything is against you, you're going to fight anyway. And I go, wow, that's a powerful idea. How do I want to incorporate that in my life? That could be really cool.